Van Pierce here.
I also want to urge Council to support this motion. First of all, it's because of what the Hollywood means to our neighbourhood. It's an icon, long time there. It's an important part of the city's cultural infrastructure as well. But it's not just about what the Hollywood has been in the past or even is right now under the direction of the church. It's about what it can and should be in the future. And I think that it can become a focal point, even more than now, for West Broadway, for Kitsilano, for the city, and a space for theatre, film, meeting, speakers, and really be the hub of our neighbourhood. The second reason I think you should support this is that once it's gone, this kind of space is not going to be replaced. And it's worth taking 90 days to see if there's some other alternative. The third reason is because I think there is a possibility of some success here. The owner is local, and he has very long-time ties to West Broadway and to Kitsilano. He owns numerous other properties on West Broadway. So I would think that he is interested in helping to make sure that West Broadway is a vibrant and successful area. And I think the Broadway Business Improvement Association is going to be key in any negotiation, because I'm sure as a long-time person who's lived in Kitsilano or near Kitsilano and owned properties on West Broadway, he knows all those other businessmen. And I think that personal connection, if we can get them in the same room together, I think that it is very likely that some kind of a solution can actually come out of it. And I think that whether it's a lease or a sale, I understand that he owns other properties in the same block and along Broadway. I would wonder if he would actually want to sell it, since he just bought it 2 years ago. But he might be interested in more of a long-term lease that could bring him the same kind of income as the lease that he's thinking of signing with the fitness group. I don't think it's very likely that he would suddenly turn around and demolish it. And I don't think he's interested in I think his long-term plan over many, many years is probably to redevelop the whole thing, the whole block or part of the block into something. And there was a question, so I really do think that something could come out of the time. It isn't a waste of time to take the 90 days. And somebody asked earlier whether the city needs to be involved, and I can just give so many reasons why I think the city should be there. First of all, the city can actually get the owner into the room, I think. Which is one of the issues that has been going on over the last couple of years. It's hard to get him to actually come and start the discussion, and I think the city can get him to do that. Secondly, they have the knowledge of this and expertise, and they're used to negotiating with owners about trying to retain heritage. They've already had discussions over the last 2 years with the owner, so they understand some of the issues, and they're already up on what's going on and where he's coming from. They can do financial and economic analysis to see just what it would take to have the owner become interested in an alternative use. And they also have tools that they can offer. They can point at things like tax relief, things like possibly density bonusing at some point in the future or whatever. And not only that, but they're the ones that are going to be issuing a development permit in the end, if there is going to be one. So they already know what's there. It would be crazy to have, negotiations going on and then finding people have gone way down the wrong route and now they have to start over with the city. So I think it's essential that the city be involved, and I urge you to support the motion.
Councillor Carr, are you sure you have a question?
I only have one. She answered most of them as she went through. So my only question is, there's been some question back and forth about the time period. Do you think that 90 days is too much? Is it sufficient? Is it, how do you feel about the 90 days?
Well, you have to balance off the owner's desire to move ahead with something, and you don't want to limit him for such a period of time that he becomes totally angry and walks out of the room, right? 90 days certainly isn't very long. I don't know if there's some kind of a statutory thing that the city can only withhold a development permit for
120 days is the maximum.
You could go to 120. I mean, 90 certainly is not too long. I don't see how you could do this kind of thing in any less than that. That's for sure.
Thank you. Thanks very much for coming.
Thanks, Councillor Carr.